While some would contend that a couple of practice matches, 24 rounds of football and a month of finals is enough football to poke a boot at, in this era of the 18-team talkback radio pitches, it's clear that the trade period has taken on a life of its own. Punters may screech that they hate hearing about proposed deals between March and September, but in reality, any article about a player wanting in, out, or otherwise rates its socks off. And although footy fanatics may disagree, the analytics tell us that there is only one thing they love more than trade chat, and that's when trades are put under the microscope. So, without further ado, I'm Phoenix Trinidad from Zero Hanger, and this is every club's worst trade from the AFL era. Let's kick things off with Adelaide. In 2002, the Crows traded pick 2 and pick 18 to bring in Wayne Carey. While Adelaide did part with the pick that saw Drew Petrie become a Kangaroo in order to draft Evan Hewitt, it was the Crows' choice to send a pair of top 20 selections to Arden Street in order to bring a past prime Carey back to the city of churches that still rankles. The Duck was able to slot 56 goals in 28 starts as a Crow, but 2 seasons of service just ain't enough for a pair of early picks, even if it did also give us the spiciest home and away game we've ever seen. Brisbane. In 1999, the Lions traded out Trent Bartlett and pick 32 to bring in Michael Martin. The Lions' deal to bring Brendan Favola to the Den may have been lopsided. However, missing out on a chance to see Jan Siracusa learn the trade under the likes of Lynch, Ackermanis and Bradshaw may go further. Still, the pain was eased by selecting a father-son gun 2 picks prior, the inimitable Jonathan Brown. Carlton. In 1999, the Baggers traded out pick 16 and pick 46 and traded in Stephen O'Reilly. Some may claim that the deals that saw Sean Grigg, Aaron Hamill and Zach Toohey depart Princes Park were more egregious, but trading multiple picks for a player that would feature just 12 times before blowing the whistle on the club's salary cap breaches? Well, that's just got to hurt a whole lot more. Collingwood. In 2004, the Pies traded out Bo Nixon and pick 37 to bring in Chad Morrison and pick 10. Trading Heat Scotland to an arch rival for peanuts was a bad bit of business in hindsight. However, landing Chad Morrison and Chris Egan in a merry-go-round trade that saw Mark Lacroix become an Eagle and Jordan Lewis a Hawk, that still doesn't sit right. Essendon. In 2004, the Bombers let go of picks 16, 42 and 58 to bring in Mark Williams alongside picks 24, 33 and 89. While we all know that they are the undisputed kings of the off-season, the Bombers bombed this one, parting with a pick that would have snared any of Jack Gunston, Max Gawn, David Asprey, Sam Reid or Ben Stratton for a shotgun that no longer fired. And although Jake Carlisle's arrival would ease some of the pain of this trade, the defender would abandon ship to the Saints 6 seasons later anyway. Fremantle. In 2001, the Dockers traded out pick 1, pick 20, and pick 36 to bring in Trent Crode and Luke McFarlane. No club can profess to owning less proficiency at the trade table than the Dockers.
What?
After all, this is the club that traded Chris Groom for Andrew McLeod and moved the massive middling Claremont products back west for the rights to draft Scott Lucas and Matthew Lloyd. Still, after laying the foundation for Hawthorn's latest golden era in one off-season, Fremantle deserves some kind of retroactive prize.
The worst trade deal maybe ever signed anywhere, but certainly ever signed in this country.
Geelong. In 1998, the Cats swapped pick 8 for Jason Mooney. Adept behind the ball and able to pinch hit in the ruck, Jason Mooney proved a handy player during his 97 games in the Harbour City. Yet, when the Cats claimed they were willing to cough up pick 8 to sign the Wagga Wagga native, it's unlikely the Swans deliberated for too long.
Yeah.
Though Mooney would spend 2 seasons playing alongside his younger brother Cam at the Cattery, mention the name Jude Bolton in the Pivot City and you are likely to hear audible groans. Gold Coast. In 2017, the Suns let go of Brandon Matera and pick 2 to bring in Lockie Weller and pick 41. Despite the seesaw sitting unevenly on this one, we get what the Suns were doing. After all, it's not often you get elite local talent actively stating they want to play for teams outside of footy's heartland. Still, with Brayshaw already earning league MVP honours in his young career, we'll blame this trade on the marketing team and not the list managers. Ballard's proficiency behind the ball certainly helps offset some of the sting, and besides, we've all made a few mistakes on the Goldie.
Okay, so what do we take? The surfboards. It's the coast, man.
GWS. Alright. This one took me a little while to get my head around, and to be perfectly honest, it's technically 2 trades. So in 2018, the Giants traded out Dylan Shield and a second-round pick for a future second-round pick and pick 9, which they then used to draft Jai Caldwell. However, in 2020, they ended up trading Caldwell and a couple of picks back to the Doms for pick 29 and a future second-round pick. It's a long-standing gag that Essendon list boss Adrian Dodoro has won every trade he's ever made.
I've never lost a round of fighting. And when I say that, sometimes the guy will laugh, because I've lost some fights.
However, the long-term wheeler and dealer can claim a set of victories here. Sure, this isn't a singular trade. In fact, this one has many tentacles. But with the Bombers eventually getting both Shield and Caldwell in the long run, well, you can confidently say that the Giants swung and missed twice here. Hawthorn. In 2000, the Hawks traded out pick 12 to bring in Sean Wren. The deal that saw Jonathan O'Rourke become a Hawk may have been slanted, and trading away third-generation gun Josh Kennedy definitely stung, but bringing in a ruckman with 3 knee reconstructions to his name for a first-rounder, well, that was never going to go well. Yet, in a testament to the Hawks' off-season ability, Burgoyne would eventually end up at Waverley for a decorated stretch long after Wren had returned back to South Australia. Melbourne. In 2015, the D's traded out Jeremy Howe and Jimmy Tumpus for Ben Kennedy, pick 29 and pick 50. Trading the pick that became Sam Doherty for Mitch Clark isn't great in hindsight, nor is sending Scott Thompson to Adelaide for a first rounder that was turned into Brent Maloney, but parting with Jeremy Howe for Ben Kennedy and the pick that became Mason Redman, that has to feel like a shopping trolley pole to the skull. However, the migraine begins to dissipate once you remember pick 29 played a leading role in making Clayton Oliver a demon. North Melbourne. In 1999, the Kangas traded out Cameron Mooney, pick 15, pick 17 and pick 47 for Lee Colbert, pick 53 and pick 67. Separate deals that saw Josh Gibson become a Hawk and Jonathan Hay coming the other way weren't great, but providing the Cats with enough picks to help stump their golden era in order to win the signature of Colbert certainly takes the cake. Port Adelaide. In 2005, the pair traded out pick 14 for Nathan Loney and pick 53. Throughout his 40 games at Alberton, Loney provided the power with a serviceable dash off half-back. However, no matter how quick or how clean the Victorian was, he would never be Grant Birchall. Not now and not then. Richmond. In 2004, the Tigers let go of Brad Ottens for pick 12 and pick 16. Trading talented ruckmen is never a great idea, but trading them for pieces that don't fill their gap is borderline unforgivable. Just ask the Tigers. Trade fanatics may recall that Danny Meyer played a role in helping Scott Thompson become a Crow. Still, it was the oft-forgotten exchange pieces role in the deal that saw Brad Ottens become a Cat that acts as his greatest legacy in the game. St Kilda. In 2009, the Saints traded pick 16 for Andrew Lovett. In an effort to go one better than their narrow defeat in the 2009 Grand Final, the Saints sent their opening picks across town to secure the pace and goal-kicking acumen of Andrew Lovett. But before the new year, the ex-Don was sacked after being charged with sexual assault. Sydney. In 1997, the Swans traded out pick 31 for Simon Hawking and Brent Green. Despite being a club with a reputation for turning sow's ears into silk purses, the Swans botched this piece of business.
Botched, I botched that one. Oh, that's a botched job.
While footy fans, especially those in the Sunshine State, will rejoice in the fact that black was where he was meant to be, the thought of the Brownlow medalist running out in red and white is one worth ruminating on. West Coast. In 2012, the Eagles traded out pick 17 for Sharrod Wellingham. Trading the pick that became Ted Richards for Michael Pryor is a move that will never glitter, but blowing the opportunity to put a pair of all-Australian ruckmen together in their prime hurts. While neither Natanui nor Grundy have had 2023 campaigns worth crowing about, the thought of what could have been for the Eagles is genuine nightmare fuel. Western Bulldogs. In 2003, the Doggies swapped out pick 19 for Stephen Coops. They're a generous lot at the Whitten Oval. I mean, it's not often that a side loses a trade to the Dockers by such a distance. Maybe Mundy could have helped the Dogs get over their preliminary final hurdle in 2009 and 2010, but
I guess we'll never know.
And that's it. Did we get it wrong? Did we get it right? What did we miss? Leave a comment below and tell us what you think. Also, a big shout out to the Zero Hanger writers who wrote the original article that this video is based on at zerohanger.com, which, by the way, is the #1 independent AFL news source. We're going to be putting out a lot more content like this over the off-season, so hit the subscribe button, follow us on the socials, and don't forget you can catch all the latest AFL news at zerohanger.com. I've been Phoenix Trinidad. See you later.